Hello, everybody. This is Big Chonis. It's been a while, but I am talking to you guys tonight. What's up, Funky Bad Chad, Space Lloyd, Mother Effer, Lezo Vajal? What's up, Michael Buckmaster? Yes, awesome, buddy. What's up, DA Only TW? Hello, 21 of my closest friends. Guys, remember to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy my content here. If this is your first time joining me on the YouTubes. I've been busy. I've been busy in my personal life here, and I'm really trying to have more opportunities to do some more live shows and put out some more content on Twitter and YouTube. But I've been busy. But let's get right into it, talking about some Bitcoin. Before I do that, guys, remember to follow me on Twitter at Big Chonis. Got some new artwork going on here. I think that looks pretty sweet. Very happy with my buddy World of Rusty putting out some great artwork there, and more to come. Guys, I got the new setup. I can send you guys a better picture tomorrow. I've enhanced it a little bit here, but this is the new trading station that I've been working on, where I want a variety of data and indicators that I can use to trade, whether it's crypto or other stock market entities. But guys, let's get into it. Thank you guys for joining me. This is Big Chonis. It's been a couple of weeks since I've talked to you guys about Bitcoin. I really, I've been focused on some big board stuff just because of what's going on in the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P. Um, Coronavirus related stock plays. I've noticed there's definitely been some altcoin action in Bitcoin and crypto, and I think it's very fascinating. I really want to start off by saying that it's incredible the resilience of Bitcoin, where we see the stock market drop and rise and drop again thousands of dollars, and yet we are seeing Bitcoin more or less, relatively speaking, hold up amongst this tremendous volatility. Now, sure, Bitcoin was at $10,500 several weeks ago, and we're currently at a little over 9K, so we're down 14%. We were down as low as 20% when we had our lows here. And, think about that. Well, Bitcoin falls 20%. The stock market's only off, 8, 10%. Um, Still off a couple percent from its all-time highs. I mean, we got to keep these things in relative fast. And yes, Bitcoin is very volatile and what have you. But while the stock market's been tanking, and sure, I think a lot of this was due to that. Bitcoin's resilience, really, especially today with the market down 1,000 points on the Dow, hundreds of points on the Nasdaq, scores on the S&P. We have Bitcoin rising. So I want to talk about what's going on here, what $9,000 Bitcoin means. And let's just run through a bunch of indicators real quick here. Start off with our daily Bollingers. So I put a tweet out about this several days ago. The Bollinger Band and the way we can trade off them, they're much more clearer, obviously, in higher time frames. But once we are able to establish lower Bollinger support, it is inevitable, even if we end up putting in a lower low on the price and yet don't touch the lower Bollinger, at the middle Bollinger is probably the next point that can be targeted for a touch. So right here on March 1st, Bitcoin hit $8,300, touched to the penny, it looks like, the lower Bollinger. Middle Bollinger is at 92.50. Now 92.50 is a very interesting area. Ooh, let's make that bigger. There you are. Okay, $9,200. I want to zoom back. I want to go a 3-day. I want to pull off my Bollingers just to talk about the horizontal nature of this. Let's see, let's go very top there, right there. Basically $9,200. You know, we've been trading Bitcoin for years. Okay, we were back in June, July, August of 2019. We were putting in our descending triangle here, and we were finding support consistently at $9,200, give or take $100, right? We had a couple wicks below. These were actually very good buying opportunities for a nice scalp, 91 to 10.9, 91 to 12.1, awesome. Again, 93 to 11K. I mean, these were awesome, scalp trades that took about a week or so to play out. And they all found support at $9,200, and now we're below it still. Like, we're retesting it. We're below it. This is an area where we had found temporary support right here when we had this insane candle from 7,400 all the way up to 10.5, which, in my opinion, was almost a brilliant play to stop out all the shorts that were in tremendous profit. If you had shorted up here from 10.9, you were golden till like 7.8. Like, there was nothing crazy about these wicks here that would have really gotten you out. And even at 86, you probably should have been out of most of your short there. You still had another leg down. So this candle took all those shorts, just got them completely out. And then if you longed into this candle, you were screwed on the other end. We put in a lower low. So every long in this candle got completely annihilated unless you sold in the first, 3 to 6 days of this pump. After that, it was just consecutive lower lows. So we got above 10K again, which frankly at this point is really an arbitrary number. We were able to break, actually, let's do this. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Let's go to log scale, auto it up. Let's do so, we were able to break, that's not what I wanted. The parallel, right? Remember this parallel? We were charting it for freaking months here. There's the parallel. We got our lower support area ish. We have our upper support area. It looks different on log or linear, right? We broke through it more or less. We back tested it more or less, right? There was the back test. So this is bullish, right? We back test our resistance, turn support, come back down, even though it's a lower low. Okay, even though we had the resistance at 92, we back tested it at 85. The back test held, we bounced up, and here we are. And this is literally, we're at mean pricing. Now, I wouldn't say it's mean pricing because we can tell from the VPVR that, and I mean, let's just literally use basically from this area as a whole, our mean pricing is actually higher. It's actually over 10K. If you just talk about the most recent price action, actually, I should include from $6,400, so about right there. All right, so there we go. Okay, that makes a difference there. I'm basically talking about the VPVR, oh God, I screwed up again. Volume, what is it? Volume profile, visible range. Visible range, volume profile, visible range. So from the initial breakthrough of $6,400, right? And then the support test again of $6,400. Our concentration of money flow price action is around $8,000, with another basically pivot point over 10.3. So I'd say two things. I'd say above $8,000 but below 10.3 is kind of a no man's land, and it's a no man's land because we have been seen this area as resistance and as support numerous times, and both have broken and regained on the downside and on the upside. So that is significant if we want to think about this, is that we're literally in the same exact spot we were in Bitcoin June of 19, okay, September of 19, November of 19, January of 19, February 19, March of 19. We are literally in the same friggin' spot. Along the way, we've deviated, okay, plus 50%, right, plus $5,000, and minus 30%, minus $3,000. So up we have a range of up 5 and down 3, and we are still in the freaking same place we've been from May of 19, almost a year. Like we're gonna be coming up on a year. May of course is our halvening. Um, that is a news event, something around right there. Okay, getting closer, right? This is the 3 days, so getting closer. But once again, we remain in this area, which is arguably kind of meaningless. Okay, we've shown that above 10K is achievable, but not sustainable, right? That's a good one. Above 10K is achievable, but not sustainable. Below at this point, 8K is achievable, but not attainable. Whew, rhyming them out here. Um, so that is where we stand as we coil here. Now, what's the bigger picture? And really, that's what I like to focus on. I can talk about the 15-minute and scalping and whatnot, but let's keep the bigger picture. I'm still in logarithmic scale here. Okay, let's just talk about general supports here. Oops. Okay, so yes, there is a line that we can draw that starts more or less in 2015. A simpler time 2015 was for sure. And this line, I can even put a degree on it. This, it's not 24% because we can change it in the crazy, but this consistent line, actually, I probably should get that out because it's kind of meaningless, but of support is where Bitcoin's bull market, once it was able to attain it, just rode up, little fat finger here, we'll call that, but rode up, and then advanced like crazy above it of a vector of just incredibleness, right? If Bitcoin had been just moving up consistently from April of 17 to December of 17, it may have hit $1,300 on December of 17. It could have been as high as $1,300, but instead of that, it was almost $20,000. So it should have been 1,300. It ended up being 20,000. We then rejoin our line here and here for multiple weeks before we advance once again. Only this time, this advance, right? We should have been at 4,300, but we were at 13,500. Whoa. Okay. So we advance way above our standard line here, but clearly not as high. And then we kind of just did it again, right? We should be at, back here, back on February 12th, we should have been at 7,300, but we ended up being at 10,300, almost $3,000 more than our mean line here. So what does this look like to you? Are we about to do one of these giant mountains? Is that what we're about to do? Bitcoin ATH levels, breakthrough all-time high levels, breakthrough 2020 high levels, right? Just bust through it. Or is this the bouncing ball, right? The bouncing ball where you bounce it, you get a big bounce the first bounce, you get one significantly lower, but still pretty good the second bounce, a lower one the third bounce. I mean, we're not gaining momentum here. If this was in reverse, small, medium, bigger, we're doing biggest, half the size of half the size. Are we doing something like this again? What kind of ball is this? And then does the bow break? Do we fall through this 5-year, 6-year, 7-year, area line of support? Tremendous support, right? We're getting so close to an area where we can answer these questions. We're getting close to an area, May, March, April, May, June, July, 2020, the rest of this year, we will have the answers to this question. Is Bitcoin on a trajectory to hold this line and then repeat these past advances, parabolic move, Or are we losing momentum every time we bounce up here, only to eventually break our line of support and fall, fall, fall much lower? Weekly chart, let's talk a little bit about weekly. I want to bring up the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, I remember tweeting this the day it happened. We broke upper cloud resistance. Nut high, people. This was the nut high. Okay, don't tell me the cloud doesn't give you clarity, especially on higher time frames. Okay, what happened the last time we did it? Same freaking thing. Nut high was the break of the upper cloud, right? But now we found support down here on Tenkan-sen, our blue line here. We closed above it on our weekly last week. So even though our weekly last week was shit, we still were able to find support, open, and literally test it this week to the penny and bounce off us and bring our price action currently back into the cloud, which holds for support around above $8,800. But you notice our weekly cloud can bring us higher, right? But that resistance can definitely step in again, and we're getting more bearish the farther out we go on the weekly, not bullish. Okay? Even with all of our bullish price action, which has definitely curtailed the bearish cloud, brought it into a little more of a tighter frame as this was here, this widened because of this. This tightens this, okay? But we could be seeing a tightening range for the next several months potentially. But if we start closing again below our cloud support, below 8,800, that's a very bearish sign for me because this can actually add as major resistance, and we can fall very quickly through this on the DL. I should look at the 3-day just real quickly here because the 3-day is important. We see two things happening here. We see lower cloud support regaining control, but we see a very bearish Kumo twist out in the distance here on the 3-day. Okay, looking pretty good, but this bearish price action has created this bearish Kumo twist on the 3-day. Now, as you can see here, we're trying to get back bullish again. Okay, we had bearish to a slight bullish, back to bearish here. This is going to be interesting. Do we get the rejection here where this begins to widen bearishly, or can we cross bullishly and trend set there? There is cloud resistance on the 3-day up to 93.50. It's a major area here. Can we find buyers above the $9,300 range? I talked about it on a lineal scale. I talked about it on an Ichimoku scale. I mean, EMA 12, EMA 26, just a very clarity here. I like to use the EMA 12, EMA 26. Okay, since I have the 3-day up, might as well stick with it. EMA 12 resistance here. Weekly, we've regained. This is very important. We must hold 8,900. If Bitcoin can be above 8,900, I can be bullish because it's holding against EMA support on a bullish cross on our weekly that is still holding. Bearish cross here, bullish cross here. Okay, that goes for the daily. This is the daily back test, right? EMA 12, EMA 26, EMA 26 resistance here. Back test EMA 12, find support. Again, 9K. So there's a confluence. 9K, $8,800. Okay. If we get back to $8,800, no more than a wick. Okay. We need to wick down and then quickly shoot back up. Okay, to regain this EMA support on the daily. I'm giving it like deference because of that. Okay, so here's some good news. Chalk and money flow went negative, right? Came back positive. This is it here. Look at the chalk and money flow. This is the entire bull to bear market here. Okay, this is it. We've regained zero line. We're above our center line. We can get up to here maybe. If we get above here, if we start getting a chalk and money flow above 0.10, be very bullish. Daily RSI. It's still pretty crappy. We're below 50. Here's our resistance. We found support at 35. That's very low. Daily RSI at 35, very low. That's a weak ass Bitcoin right here. Weak ass Bitcoin. Weak. Right? This is weak Bitcoin, weak Bitcoin, weak Bitcoin. We got to get above 50 again. This is a clear range of resistance now from 50 to 55, something in that range there. I'll give deference up to 57. Okay? This is an area where we can get caught and resistant. Okay? Above 56, 57, if we get up here, I can get very bullish again. Okay, but we're down here. We're below 50. The bears have the RSI still. Daily Stoke, okay? This was a good bottoming here. We saw this. It's the reason it's a good bottoming. It's the amount of time on the daily. Okay, we had a couple, one curve over, two curve over, flat pancake. This thing was due for a bounce on the daily. We go back historically, one pullover, okay, another one here, flat pancake, then we go up. Sometimes we have a V, sometimes we have a WW, but when we get this very bearish thing here, it's normally a 1, a 2, a 3, and then we start to rise. And we have a little running room here, okay? Not too wide, okay? No reason to come back, no reason to go up, but this could cross for sure with a weak, and that would be a weak sign there. If we cross and close on the daily Stoke there, okay, this is our daily squeeze momentum, okay? We definitely found a peak low here, okay? It was a slight higher low. I mean, people, look at that. Look how beautiful. Support, little front run right there. There was your turnaround right there. Okay, and we're early in this, right? We've done this before. Doesn't mean we shoot up, doesn't mean we skyrocket. But normally when we hit this low, okay, we rebuild, we climb up the valley, and eventually we can build a mountain. Build a mountain, build a mountain. Doesn't mean it's a big mountain. Doesn't mean it's a long and a wide mountain. But this is a good sign there that we're finding that support there on our squeeze momentum. Market's still slightly long, but not really. We're seeing that pivot. I become much more bullish. I shouldn't say that. If you were bullish when this moved to a positive funding rate, which means you're basically paying more to hold your leverage long, okay, you just ride that bullishness there, and you had a good amount of time where you could have ridden that. You're paying a premium to hold your long, but you were rewarded with that, up until a few weeks ago. And it's taken the bearishness of the price action to bring us down to slightly back to neutral almost. And our ADX and DI is about to cross here. So we're getting very close to a flippening back to more of a bearish sense here. With our EMA holding on the daily, it is Friday, tomorrow. So we are getting close to getting a resolution in the week. And the monthly it's just too early in the month. I wanted to look at a couple more things before I lose my voice. So Bitcoin dominance, it really isn't blowing my socks off here. I mean, alts have been a real good play, at least some of them for sure, for months now, right? We basically hit our peak here at 73 on Bitcoin dominance. Our current low so far is right there at 61. And even though Bitcoin has found a slight bounce bottom here, we're slowly rising 62 to 66, back to 65. We really haven't seen that all capitulation really in any capacity. Definitely pullbacks here and there for sure. But, the money flow is still pretty strong, and Bitcoin dominance just a couple points higher isn't that bad. And most of that's because Bitcoin has dropped a few thousand, from its peak. So, these are the things that we're seeing where there's clearly money in the market. Equity markets are in this blitz right now. Total Market cap is still hitting exponential resistance. Remember, guys, Bitcoin, crypto, the entire thing, 300 billion valuation. Okay, 300 billion on Valentine's Day. 2 weeks later, 234 billion. Okay, I mean, we just did $70 billion just erased from crypto, to 230. We come up 20 billion. Okay, we're not this is still just a corrective move from this major fall here. We're not seeing massive money flow into Bitcoin as a safe haven or crypto as a safe haven. Is it holding up better than some stocks, than some blue chips, than some cruise lines, some airlines? Absolutely. Are altcoins holding up tremendously better than a lot of our blue chip equity stocks? Tremendously. That's going to get eyeballs. This is something where that kind of X factor with crypto, where because it's arguably, not correlated with equity markets, right? Doesn't have earnings, doesn't have sales projections, doesn't have EBITDA. I guess if you involve mining and whatever, it's independent of these markets. Now, from a visual standpoint here, I mean, this is still kind of bear pennant-ish. Kind of bear flag. We're definitely doing more of a wedge here now, though, with our tightening of our thing here. But I mean, this is still bearish. Like, it's hard for me to be bullish here. As I said earlier in the show, we're still under our horizontals. Closes above 92, 95. Obviously, back over 10K would be great. But we're still hitting that resistance, and we're on the underside of it. So I can point out oscillators, indicators that show, yeah, there's support. There's a reason for bouncing here. There's a nice little structure forming here. Volume's kind of dog shit still, you know. But this is the market that we're in. Guys, 57 of my closest friends here. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Give a follow here on my YouTube channel. I really want to do a lot more of these videos, as well as with my good buddy Big Cheds. But I've been pretty busy. I sold my house. I moved, kind of downsized a little bit, and I'm just trying to figure out what. Because I'm a trader. Listen, I've been trading stocks for over 10 years. I've been trading crypto for over 3 years now, and I'm really God. There's I could do shows every day about the stuff that I'm looking at, the trades I take and why I take them, and I want to be more, open about that stuff. So once I get a little more settled and stuff, I'll definitely want to be more. Um, Accessible and stuff, and a couple other ideas I may have. I'm actually going to Florida in a week from now, so taking a little vacation from the colder north where I am currently. But I definitely want to keep putting out content there, and the way I see it now is you can't ignore the fact that Bitcoin has really held up really well compared to equity markets, and even gold, which has been on a very nice uptrend, the GLD, even spot gold, that kind of stuff. Um, Alternative assets have been a very interesting play to kind of people are looking for other places to put their money. Um, we have all these gaps on the CME, but the CME is trading above $9,100. I always reference the 4 hour when I look for meaningful gaps, at least near term. Everything looks pretty clean. There was a gap here that got filled pretty quickly. Everything's pretty clean. Looks like, oh, look at that. 85.45 got filled. So that we can erase actually. See that here? We had a gap down to here. 85.45. It literally was this wick here. Beautiful. Filled that 4-hour gap. But remember, our next low gap is right here at 70. Looks like 76.85 on the 4-hour. I'm a 4-hour guy here. And then, yeah, I mean, I know there's lower 60, 65. Pretty sure there's one there. Yeah, right there. Boom, right there. A little higher, actually. Right. Boom. 60.90. So really 76.85 is that gap that's filled. And then, of course, we have the one up here at 11,725 still right there. There it is. Actually, it should be. Actually, it's. Yeah, it's right there, actually. It's actually 11,925. Take that back. Oops. There we go. Right? Because the gap is the last candle before the dump. So 11,925. So listen, there's a bullish scenario here, CME futures, and this tends to run ahead of Bitcoin. But here's the problem here: we're only running 91.10. 91.10, 90.25. So we're only running like what, under $100, $90 ahead of schedule. That's not very bullish. We were running almost $400 ahead of spot price on Bitcoin back in when we were really bullish. You know, in this run to 10.4, and no, in this run up here, we were really bullish here. So this is still a bear pennant, bear flag, whatever you want to call it, until proven otherwise. All right, guys, it's probably a good place to stop. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. 50 of my closest friends, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter. This was fun. It's been a while, and I hope to do more of these soon. Short-term price action, just real quick here. Whenever I have no clue what's going on here, I just go to my Bollingers, and the hourly doesn't tell me shit. The 4-hour volume, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a better chance we'll be below 9K. I mean, the resistance here is strong. You know, we need the volume. Tomorrow's equity markets, if the Dow, if the Nasdaq, if the S&P, if they start tanking tomorrow, like bad, look for the correlation. If Bitcoin holds up better, that's really something. I think people will really take notice of that, and people might look for, you know, those alternative assets like gold, but definitely like Bitcoin as well. So, and that could definitely bring some more money into crypto, which is kind of what we're looking for here. Otherwise, overall, lower highs, okay? Lower highs, lower lows, okay? Maybe we can get as far up as here, 9.4, 9.3, okay? But frankly, we're still putting in this wedge, which still feels more like a bearish pennant, really, until proven otherwise. Resistance as high as 94, 95. Any closes above 95 or above could be definitely a different trend change, to really say the least. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Talk to you soon. Big Chonis. Peace.